Welcome, friends of the Greasy Shop Rag. Today we're going to take a look at a Husqvarna T540i, which is a battery-powered top-handle chainsaw. So the customer complaint is that it runs erratically. It's going to be hard to see here because you can't see my trigger finger movement. But this thing isn't responding to my input the way it should be. And the way the customer describes it, sometimes it even just chatters when he pulls the trigger. We're going to dig into this and split it in half and see what's inside. So to hold the two halves together, there's just a bunch of screws here, and we've got a T25 bit that we're using to pull them out, and a magnet. And we just go around the loop, and anytime we see a screw, we just turn it, right? How else are you going to learn? I've been inside a few of these. They've been holding up pretty good. They will accumulate with some dirt inside there, though, so I'm not saying that part of your regular maintenance plan should be to split one of these in half, but I am saying I have found a lot of wood debris inside of them. So the bar, really, it doesn't need to come off to split this in half. It just makes life a little easier not having that bar hanging on there. So how many screws do we got left here? I've been jabbering. Looks like we're getting close. All these screws are the same size, so you don't have to worry about mixing anything up or keeping them in order. Alright, we got to the point where all the screws are out. That brake handle, it comes off with this top half, or left half. And there's nothing, that you got to worry about. No wires connected or anything silly like that. So there's your chainsaw. Wires and switches, electric motor. And I'm just looking for loose connections right now. I'm going to put the battery back in and run it. Powered it on. It's kind of weird. So I wonder if that's the weird jerking kind of activity that he was saying he was experiencing when he'd pull the trigger and it would just kind of jump like that. So what we have is in that control pad there is a little micro switch on the back of it that the trigger physically touches. And there's also a sensor with a magnetic strip on the trigger. I'll show you that in a minute. And right now, I'm just messing around. It appears to me that there's a problem with that control pad. Although if I replace the pad at this point, I'd just be guessing. So let's take a little closer look here. We got this weird spring-loaded operator presence lever. You gotta, I think, push it ahead before you can push it down and then pull the trigger. Here's our trigger with that magnetic strip on it. And the switch, while it looks like it's really buried into the wiring harness, it's really not that bad. There you go, magnetic strip. Alright, let's look at this switch again. Yeah, it's a switch, alright, by golly. So before I tear it off of there, I want to hook this up to our common service tool on the computer and see if there's any error codes stored in there. So with this jumper wire that I just attached between the saw and the battery, where I plug the module in determines whether I'm going to be monitoring the saw or the battery. So I plug it into this pigtail, and then I'm looking at the saw. If I plugged it into the pigtail up by the battery, then I'd be looking at how many hours of runtime are on the battery. It's been a while since I plugged one in. I don't remember what it all shows. So this one has 2 hours and 12 minutes of runtime. It doesn't have any error code stored in it. And we're running the latest version of the firmware. So we're going to just do some self-checks here. And basically they're telling me to squeeze the trigger, then click the button on the screen and release the trigger. And it's checking the trigger position sensor. Kind of really bad video footage here. But what we ended up with on our test was that it showed we had a failed test in the trigger being fully released. Anyway, the software didn't like what it was seeing on the saw, which kind of confirmed my guess about that control pad being bad. Which is good enough for me. We're replacing a control pad. I had to order it in, so we jumped ahead here a week or two, whatever it took to get it in. So pulling this old one out really isn't that big a deal at all. At first I thought it would have a whole wiring harness running down to the main control board. But in fact, there is a plug-in on the back of it. And it just pops out of there. And then a new one gets snapped into place. Pretty simple stuff, really. If you haven't worked on any of these battery-powered pieces of equipment yet, they're not hard to work on. I mean, there's only so many components in there, right? You got a motor, a switch, a wiring harness, maybe another switch, and a control board. And usually you can figure out which component is bad simply by the process of elimination. I was working on a pole saw the other day. It was pretty obvious what the problem was. One of the brush holders had let loose and spun through the motor and ate it up. Didn't take any special equipment to figure that one out. So I want to get my trigger into place here, and that little micro switch on the back of the control panel that we just installed, you can see I've got the trigger on the wrong side of the switch there. There we go. Not too hard to figure that one out. Here's our operator presence lever. Sits inside the spring. We're all good. little piece of fancy grill work here. We'll put that in place. And then we'll drop the top half on it. Now if there's anything to line up, you know that you can see the operator presence switch is kind of standing proud right now. It's not where it belongs. We'll fix that though. And we have this lanyard hook. It's got to get lined up. And we got the 4-stroke guys from the other side of the shop sniffing around over here. We'll see what's up with that. That's not right.
I shouldn't talk to you. I'll make you goof up.
No, I didn't goof up. If I'd not seen it, it'd have been a goof up. Yeah, you're not really missing anything if you fix it before you send it out. You gotta be smarter than the equipment you're working with.
Guy I used to know, he trade hunting dogs and guns like we do socks. I said,
well, first of all, did you say trade?
Yeah.
I don't trade my socks.
I just mean he traded his stuff. Like we change our socks. Okay?
Ah, I'm with you. So once every week, whether I need it or not.
Yep, every Saturday. So
all right, story time's over. Back to work, right? Only one screw short. That's not bad. We got almost all of our screws put back in, except for the one I lost. There it is. This one's being shy. It's kind of stuck in the bag here. It's actually kind of saying a lot that I didn't lose any of them screws. I got a lot of open projects waiting on parts. Alright, we'll get this thing barred back up and just test it, run it a few times. That's all I'm going to have for you on the Husqvarna T540 top panel battery powered chainsaw that needed a control switch. Thanks for watching. Later.